One good business idea that you can make, I find some people actually doing this, and it's a good way of having a passive income structure. So just realize that this is very specific way of making money. So if you don't have a background experience around this, be careful with the possibility of either doing this or not. But either way, what you can do is you can find a place in which you don't pay a lot for a house, and you can either build a house there or you can buy a house there and just totally remodel the house. So if you find a place that is nice on a nature spot, for example, so it could be a cheap place in terms of how much you're paying, and at the same time, it can be a very beautiful environment in which people will be happy to pay to stay there for a couple of days. It's a location that you don't want to have a lot of competition, ideally. So if there's a bunch of houses that are just being used for renting purposes like this, maybe it's not the best option. But if you find a place that is nice and you don't have a lot of competition around you, maybe a spot to consider. Then what you can do is essentially hire a team that can take care of the house and the rents as well, and also do the sponsors, or you can do the sponsors on your behalf on the internet. So essentially, you have an option of delegating the work, and you can have a passive income structure this way by just renting a house to tourists and make some money that was probably sit on your bank anyways, losing value. So this way you can actually capitalize on the money that you have, and that money can provide money to you as well. So this is an option for people that don't think the market is a safe option for them. They don't feel like comfortable with the money there, because I mean, the background people have around all the information they're provided really makes a difference in which you actually feel comfortable to do or not. And of course, I'm not here to change anyone's mind around what they think. So if they prefer to invest on a structure like this instead of the markets, it's an option. Just be aware that there's risks associated with this. The house has to be rented on the spot you're willing to invest the money. So take this with some considerations, okay? I know there's people doing this and they're doing well. They're getting this strategy with success, but it's a strategy they have been implementing for some time as well. So they're not just throwing themselves into this thing, unless when it was their first house when they started. There's effectively people starting just doing something like this and they do well, but they're doing a lot of work too. Some of them, because they don't start with a lot of capital, they're the ones making the restructure of the house. So they buy a house on a nice location, but quite a whole house that is very cheap. They just restructure the whole place by themselves. They buy the furniture, so they do all the work in order for them to lower the cost of the start of the business itself. And then instead of delegating the task to an agency, they do themselves the advertise as well in the beginning. So essentially, everything you can delegate further for you to not have to take care of those things personally. In the beginning, they rather save the money or spend less money in the investment and do the things by themselves.